I think the reality is what most people want to say is that they don't actually think sex trafficking should be illegal. What they are trying to say is that, like, if the girls are stupid enough to fall for it, then they should be stupid enough to get trafficked. That's what people really mean, but they just don't want to say it.
Do you think Dan Bilzerian's similar?
I'm
saying status, do you know?
Hold on, yeah, this is what I don't understand, okay? And a lot of kids got super abused and, like, really...
That's a key word there, Destiny.
You're a great friend of the Tate brothers, and everyone's hanging on for an update.
Oh, nothing.
What's the latest?
They're doing well, man. It's easy to sleep well when you know you've done the right thing. There's zero doubt in my mind that Andrew is zero.
You want to hear some real slurping? Oh my God, this guy is...
The biggest dilemma I think that we're looking at right now is not whether they're innocent or not, is whether they're going to get a fair shake. Whether it's actually going to be a fair trial. You know, when you walk in, I said this yesterday on a podcast, when you walk into their front door, you walk about 10 steps, there's a little mini bar, and then you walk into the big living room where he did that final message on Rumble. And if you look directly to the left, there's about a 70-inch TV with 20 little screens show, like, all the camera footage is there. If they need evidence, Andrew could give it to them. Why not just use that? It's very, very clear. And then here's another thing. If you look at the allegation itself, on what planet do two 6'3", 6'4", multi-millionaires, handsome as world-traveled, speak well, articulate gentlemen need to do that?
That's literally how they got famous, you retard. Why do these guys suck each other up? You can't call me a gay dude when these guys are on these platforms, okay, with knees that are scraped and bruised because of how often they spend time on them sucking each other off over this red pill shit. It is honestly the gayest shit I've ever seen in my life. Nothing in my life is more gay than all this red pill shit and how much these guys suck everybody off in the community. It's actually fucking insane, dude. Holy shit. What do you want?
Question for you. Do you know if it is proven that the Tate brothers...
Do I know? Wait, sorry, hold on. So I clicked some dumb shit because I'm autistic. Okay, what were you saying? Go ahead.
No, you're not. Don't say that about yourself ever again. I'm just kidding. Do you know if it was proven that the Tate brothers withheld passports from the girls?
My understanding is that claim came from a DM from somebody else talking about it. So I haven't seen anything ultra credible about the passport holding, but there was somebody else that talked to them that mentioned it, but I haven't seen a good, like, I don't think you should repeat that claim. That doesn't seem to be a strong claim right now. They could be, but yeah.
So that's where I think, like, if that's true, then they are in the wrong. If that's not true and those females had free will, like actual free will, I would say that they didn't do anything technically illegal.
Well, hold on. What you mean to say is they didn't do anything that you consider wrong because it's still clearly illegal. Or you are.
I don't know Romanian law,
retarded.
though.
It's not Romanian law. It's every type of law. If I go up to you and I offer to sell you snake oil and you buy it, you didn't have to buy it from me, but I'm still a scammer. How is it so hard for you guys to understand? I don't understand that.
So, okay.
It's the deceitful part that makes it a crime. It doesn't matter how much agency you have. If I go to a girl and I say, listen, baby, I love you. Can you come here? Let's get married, blah, blah, blah. And she comes here and I'm like, oh, what's up? Talk to my friend. She's cool. And I lie about what she came here for. I lie about that relationship with that friend. And the other friend is like, bro, dude, we should, like, do camming stuff. It's really fun. It's really cool. And they're like, hey, we can get rich together, blah, blah, blah. If I run that scheme with 30 girls, that's sex trafficking. You might not think it's wrong and they can technically leave, but that's deceit. You're lying. You're scamming somebody. That's what the whole point is. It doesn't matter if they have agency or not. Go ahead.
I think, Destiny.
Go ahead.
In regards to sex work and sex trafficking, right? So there are websites that you can apply as a male or female for different sex jobs, right? And in one of their disclaimers on these websites, it says specifically before you actually accept DMs from anybody or before you say, hey, go out and do this or get flown out and do this, always ask for accolades in regards to that. So in your point of like a relationship standpoint, I don't know when these girls got approached by the Tates, but wouldn't you argue that if they were that popular and they knew their name, wouldn't it be on like them to research the Tates in general and see that these things have been coming up and know that, oh, it's probably not a good idea to go hang out with the Tate brothers?
Yeah, but the whole point is you can get a girl to fall in love with you anyway. Well, like, look at the girls that I still catch.
That's manipulation and deceitful, but...
Yeah, that's manipulation and deceitful. Look at how many girls still, like, hang out around me despite the fact that, like, Mr. Girl's DMing everybody and blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of red flags around me, a lot of public drama I have, right? And I'm not even trying to, like, manipulate or mind girls. Like I could start my own webcam shit and mind a bunch of chicks and think that they're in love with me and then go to other bodies and shit. Like I could probably do that. Maybe. Like the Tates definitely could do that, and they did do that.
Well, yeah, because of status.
Yeah,
Status
but they had status. That was the point. A lot of the girls that got DM'd by them were like, "Whoa, he's DMing me. Oh my god, like that's so cool. I feel so special." That was the point. It doesn't matter if they got a history of doing some things, that the guys can convince the girls otherwise, which isn't that hard when you're super rich and when you're really charismatic and when you know women really well and when you look really good, which I think these guys like blew out of the park 100%.
Okay, but do you think they should be in prison for it?
Yeah, it's legal. Well, it's illegal. It's sex trafficking.
Is it a moral thing or is it an actual law thing? You know what I'm saying?
Well, both. I think it's immoral and it is illegal. Yes, that's the whole point. To make it sex trafficking, there has to be an element of deceit involved. And they were lying. They were misrepresenting the types of relations they were looking for, which makes it sex trafficking.
All right, fair enough. The only thing I'd also
I think hold on. To be clear on these conversations, you red pillars. I don't know if you're red pillar. Okay, but you guys should
no, man. I was actually asking questions.
Okay,
sure. I lean whatever way. I don't really get.
Yeah, that's fine. To be honest. But I think the reality is what most people want to say is that they don't actually think sex trafficking should be illegal. What they are trying to say is that like if the girls are stupid enough to fall for it, then they should be stupid enough to get trafficked. That's what people really mean, but they just don't want to say it.
It's like the same thing. If like just because I'm stupid enough to buy drugs doesn't mean I'm not like doing something illegal, or like the drug dealer isn't doing something illegal, right? Is that like kind of similar?
A little
analogy,
bit, yeah.
Or no?
But I'm just saying, like I remember when I was in the car with Pearl, I tried to get her on this because I was asking her like a million times. I was like, because eventually she was saying, well, if the girls could leave, it's not a big deal. I was like, that doesn't, whether or not they could leave doesn't make it a scam or not. Like every scam,
I don't
involves
understand like the law of sex trafficking too much in regards to that. I don't understand that law.
Oh, I just told you in Romania, and it's probably true in a lot of places around the world. If you bring somebody to an area for the purposes of extorting them, meaning using them to make money to sell them for sex-related services, and you do it under a deceitful or coercive or abusive guise, the deceitful one is one of them. If you do it under deceit, that's considered sex trafficking. It's super simple. It's really easy. So if I bring you to another country and I say, let's get married, baby, we can make a lot of money, we're fine. I don't have any intention of fucking marrying you or any of that shit. I'm just trying to start a fucking sex trafficking thing with you. Then that's sex trafficking. Super easy. Okay. But I think what you want to say is that like, well, I don't think that should be sex trafficking. The girls could have looked them up. They could have left. They could have whatever.
I'll never. I guess chat's saying I didn't do my research on sex trafficking. True, but I thought like when I was looking at the case, I didn't look at all angles of it. I only figured like, okay, like I thought moral choice was a big deal, and like you were talking about with Pearl, like sure, that's true. I didn't actually see that interview, but you're right. Like even though they had a choice to do it or not, what the Tate brothers were doing, it's like in that analogy I gave you, they were the drug dealers at the end of the day. Even though the girls chose to do drugs, those drug dealers are still illegal. You know?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, the choice thing just doesn't, because again, like every single scam ever generally involves people having a choice.
I don't want like sex trafficking, like I said, to be a certain thing or be legal and whatnot. I to my knowledge, that's why I came in here. I didn't really know enough about that, but I thought if they withheld passports, that was like really illegal, you know?
That would be another thing, but like it also betrays like how trafficking works. Like if you're good at what you do, like you're not going to be doing like the craziest shit. Like drug dealers, for instance. Like drug dealers aren't out here like murdering people indiscriminately all the time because holy who wants to be involved in that? It's one, it's exhausting. Two, it uses up a lot of bodies. You actually lose people. Three, it gets the cops on your ass like none other. And four, it just takes away time from what you want to be doing is selling drugs. There's a theory, I should be able to say this better or give it to you, but there's a theory that like one of the reasons why crime fell a lot after the 90s is because gangs got better at cutting up territory and not fighting with each other all the time. It's just so, yeah, like if you want to do...
I think it was with war too, right? Like how war kind of came out where there's territory now and they're not fighting each other. I don't know.
Sure, yeah. Similar. But like I'm saying, like if you want to be good at like trafficking and pimping and all that shit, like it's not going to be through physical coercion all the time. It's so much work. It's so sloppy. It's not effective. There are better ways to control people. And we watched so many pimping videos on this channel around this time. Like one guy talked about how like the easiest way to pimp is you literally just look at like Maslow's hierarchy of memes. Holy shit. Hierarchy of needs. Memes too, maybe. But like find out like what does a girl need? What is she not getting filled right now in her life? And then how can you fulfill it, right? So if a girl is lacking food security, you might be able to, get her to pimp out for you with fucking cheeseburgers, right? Or if a girl doesn't feel like she has safety or security.
Pimping is just a value in general, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be money.
Trying to find a vulnerable girl and you're trying to give her something that she doesn't have right now in her life. And then through that relationship, you leverage that to get her to sell sexual things for you to profit off of. And what the Tates were doing is they were doing it romantically. That's the point of the lover boy method is I'm going to find a girl that doesn't have a guy to love her right now or is like really looking for that type of connection. And then I'm going to get her that way basically.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think Dan Bilzerian's similar?
I don't know what I'm about to say. Why? What did he do?
Well, I mean, God, so it's like, I read the book to set up. It was 400 pages. It's on Amazon. It's many ways you can get it, but it's a good book. I don't know if you're familiar with Dan Bilzerian or no.
It's a name that I hear who sounds like a crazy dude, but I don't know anything about him now.
So in regards to him and like girls, right? So like he came up. He used to be. He fell out of being a Navy SEAL, and he became like a gambler with poker and made majority of his money through poker.
Okay.
And then he wanted like a place to funnel his money, so he created Ignite Funnel, like in quotations, because I don't know if it's legal or not illegal. That's speculation. But he wanted a business for it because he's got all this money. He's bought a jet, so on and so forth. And if you go on his Instagram, like, my question, I guess, is this: like, did the Tate brothers really reach out to these girls individually, or did the girls reach out to him? Because a lot of girls reach out to Dan Bilzerian, right? So they're already reaching out to him to be on his yacht, and like they look at it as like a way to gain more status. Yeah, gain more status for themselves through their Instagram or whatever. Because Dan Bilzerian's gone on and said, I've never paid any of these girls to do anything. They just came out with me and they took pictures with me, or they had like Snapchats on their Snapchat saying they were with me, and that gained them status, right? So do you think, like, you bring out like the Loverboy method? I don't know if like Dan Bilzerian's way of doing it was the Loverboy method or not, but do you think if the Tates did something in regards to like Dan Bilzerian, they wouldn't necessarily be in the wrong versus like who reached out to who, you know?
I mean, if other people are reaching out first, it helps a little bit, but it still isn't enough to fully exonerate you, because like a girl could still reach out first, and you could still, like, depending on how popular you are, you could still take advantage of them. Now, for the Tates, they were reaching out to girls first. That's why we have the DMs from that daughter of that Romanian politician that they tried to reach out to, who I think was 16 at the time, but that might be illegal in Romania. But like, I'm saying
status, you know?
Hold on. Yeah, this is what I don't understand, okay? So here's the thing, okay? So I have a lot of girls that DM me across Twitter or Instagram, okay? A lot of them are, like, sexually propositioning me, okay? It would be so easy for me, okay? Because I know a lot of these people are fans, right? It would be so easy for me to, like, girl message me and I say, like, hey, check this out. Melina's going out of town next week. Do you want to come down and hang out for 3 or 4 days? Girl comes down and hangs out for 3 or 4 days. It's probably going to be a really fun time because I'm a really cool person. If I want, I could splurge some money around here. We're on fucking Miami Beach. We could go jet ski. We do whatever we want. She could probably have, depending on how normal she is, it could be literally the most insane weekend of her life. And I'm really good at, like, doing chemistry with people, so, like, I could have all of that unlocked, right? If I were to take that from there and I were to say, listen up, Melina does Fansly, okay? She makes a ton of money. It's actually unreal. I really like you. Like, I've got really strong feelings for you. We're looking for a third. Like, if you want to, like, make money with us, you should, like, get involved in this, and, like, we could set this up and it'd be amazing, right? I know for a fact I could get plenty of girls to do shit that way, 100%. But, like, what am I doing there, right? That's deceitful as fuck, right? I have no intention of marrying any of these fucking girls. I'm not gonna date any of these girls or make them a third. I'm just bringing them down here, showing them a fun time, using my status and clout, and then eventually leveraging that into them doing, like, basically sex work, where now they're gonna be locked into it, because once you kind of do it, it's kind of hard to get out, and they've never done it before, which is something that Tate's bragged about, that a lot of these girls had no past in sex work, and now I basically got them, like, as a little money factory for me. Like, how is that not fucked up? Even if she messages me first, isn't that a little bit fucked up? Because what I just described is exactly this is what the Tates did. That's what I had
situation, right? Yeah. Or the Tate situation, right? I guess it comes down to how much coercion is involved and manipulation. Like, you could do that, you could manipulate. But I'm going to give you an analogy, and this might be a little bit off, but in regards to, like, let's say a professional esports player, right, reaches out to a team like CLG, TSM, Octa Gaming, right? They're like, hey, I want to be with you, right? And in a non-relationship standpoint, they're like, I want to be part of this team. I want to do it. So these teams, like, they create a contract, right? A contract saying you have to do this, this, and this, and then we take about this amount of money and do this and that and that. And it's an actual written form contract that they have to sign.
Okay.
So I don't know if the Tates did that or not. I'm sure they didn't. But in regards to, like, let's say your example, if you wanted that, but then you're like, hey, like, we want a third to live with us, right? You and Melina. But then you create, you separate the two, kind of. For the sex work side of things, you write up a contract for the girl to look at, and how you make them sign it, I guess, is like another form that could be addressed. But let's say they go home, or they take it home, they want to look at it, or they review it, they possibly get a lawyer involved, then they sign that contract. Is that illegal?
At that point, where you're talking about, like, a third party looking over things and everything, probably not, because now you've got
a third party, though.
Well, hold
just
on,
a contract.
But you said, like,
I'm giving it out, yeah.
No, but you're saying, well, you're getting a lawyer involved. Well, no, this sounds a lot healthier. Now you're getting, like, somebody else to actually. This is why in the United States of America.
Do you like my analogy, though, with, like, the esports thing, like, kind of in regards to, like, how people reach out because they want to be part of teams?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but, like, that analogy, I think is a little bit rough for you because there's a ton of abuse in the esports industry. That's why agencies are so popular and got created, because that exact scenario that you're talking about happened a fuck ton, where teams will go to players and they go, hey, don't you guys want to be like playing esports professionally? Like, check this contract out, sign it over, it'll be awesome, we'll make a ton of money, it'll be great. And a lot of kids got super abused and like really...
That's a key word there, Destiny.
Well, no, hold on. When I say kids, I mean 18, 19, 20-year-olds.
Okay.
Like, got over on really dog shit contracts. Look at the era of machinima and all the horrible machinima contracts, licensing your content into forever with dog shit rates. Like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like even in that scenario, it's still pretty easy for people to abuse you, you know? But
yeah, so I mean, man, like you're like, yeah, of course, get a lawyer involved, duh. But I think still, if there's like a contract that's easily written and easily viewed by either party, and they come to some sort of agreement, and it's like not like, well, I brought up that other part of this, like, oh, if you like force them to sign it or you manipulate them into signing it, that's different. But like if they actually are in sane mind, right, and willing to look at that from both parties and sign it, you know, even without a lawyer.
yeah, I mean, like what you're talking about there could be okay or could not be okay. It's going to depend a little bit more on the specifics of the situation. But like what you're describing there is a lot different than what the Tates did, because now you've got an official written contract. At least you kind of know what you're getting into, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the girls who went to the Tates, they didn't know they were going to be doing fucking sex work. Again, remember, Andrew Tate specifically bragged that all of his girlfriends, he said that every girlfriend that worked for him on that site didn't have any history at all in sex work. That was a flex of his, right? So he was grabbing girls that had no history in that industry whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like at the very least, if Andrew Tate was saying things like, "Hey, like, do you want to come to Romania and like work on my fucking camp business or whatever?" That would be a lot different there, because at least we'd kind of know what's up. But that wasn't what was going on at all.
So I guess like what I was saying is, if they didn't do the sex work thing or try to gain some monetization out of the girls, and they just came and hung out with them, and they were like using them and like their status like being posted on their Instagram, kind of like what Dan Bilzerian is similarly doing without sex work, right? Maybe it would have been fine. Like there's no manipulation involved or something like that, right?
Yeah, potentially. Like, let's say a girl goes down, they're hanging out, and she sees everything going on. She's like, hey, actually, I think I do want to do like this kind of fansly thing, or I want to do this. Yeah, that could theoretically be okay. Sure.
Like when you bring in a third in with Melina too,
sure,
same thing,
that could
right?
be okay. Yeah, it could be. But the Tates were very intentional about every single thing they did. That's what makes it so much different. It's not like they just randomly had these girls all doing sex work. They were bringing them down there explicitly for it, with the explicit intention of being deceptive.
Okay.
That's his whole Hustlers University course, is him describing how to deceive girls.
I looked it up.
Sure, yeah. That was the whole point of that.
So yeah, I guess, I mean, for me, like, I'm not any pill or anything. I just see things, and I guess I just take them in and like understand it. And I like, on Rumble, I look at their stuff as like entertaining for like their lifestyle they live. Like, oh, cool boats, like they go travel, they do stuff like that. Similar to why I like Dan Bilzerian, because he used to do a lot of gambling, has a really cool boat. I don't think he has a really cool plane and stuff like that, and brings a lot of hot girls on, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I have to look up the laws to see really where they could have like been in prison for certain things. But from what you're saying, it sounds like, I guess, yeah, they should be in prison for it. But I don't know. Maybe
that shouldn't be illegal.
Well, no. I'm never. There's certain laws I know enough about to think about changing one, is like gun laws and stuff like that. But I don't know enough about these to know whether it should or shouldn't be illegal. If it is illegal now, then I don't know enough about it to argue for the opposite, right? So, in general, I just like I don't know. I mean, this will be interesting to see what happens with the case. Do we know anything new about it?
Nope, we're still waiting. Charges should be coming, and if they don't, then holy fuck, Romania is fucked up hard, and Dagestan is fucked up hard. But yeah, they're under house arrest still.
What would you like to see come of it? Or have you already described this on stream? I don't want to waste your time.
No, it's all good. I mean, like, it's going to sound biased, but I would hope that if they had gotten approval from a judge to have them under house arrest and everything for so long, then ideally charges are coming. Otherwise, somebody dropped the ball hardcore, and it damages the credibility of the Romanian government, and people that are against sex trafficking in general are pretty damaged if nothing comes of anything, right? Not that I'm saying that, like, I hope they're guilty and I hope they did, I hope they get fucked. It's not necessarily that. It's just that they've been under house arrest so long. If charges didn't come at this point, it would be really absurd. So...
yeah, I'm a firm believer in too, like, if people do break the law, then of course there should be like ramifications for it if the law is true, right? I don't know, man. That's just an interesting conversation, I guess. Like, I would like you to, if you're interested, to see kind of like the lover boy method, and I think the right way to do it maybe is Dan Bilzerian in regards to that level of status, right? I'm sure other
was Dan
men are
Bilzerian
doing
getting like other people to like do like fucking like sex work? Is that what he did, or?
No, I mean, he had like, I think at one point maybe he had a private Snapchat for himself. I don't know the regards to. I could be wrong on that.
Well, then what's even the comparison here? I don't understand.
Well, the lover boy method, right?
Well, no, but lover boy method implies being deceitful in order to get somebody to do
Oh.
sex work for you.
Okay, then I guess using a man's status to gain more status for yourself, like you said, girls DM you because they're fans, right?
Yeah.
And then
no, using status to gain status isn't bad. It's when you use that status to get people to kind of get them to love you, and then you leverage that. That's the exploitation part. It's when
loving.
It's when you leverage.
The Bilzerian
that.
is completely different. If there's no love involved, Then
if a girl is coming,
you track my statement.
Yeah, like I'll be open about it.
Well, some of the girls do love Dan, I guess.
That's fine. But like, if he's not like getting them to do sex trafficking shit or whatever, I mean, if they just want to go in there like increase their status, I'll do that. If any girl wants to increase her status, she wants to fuck me for it. Knock yourself out. Like I'll let you know when Melina's out of town. Like fuck it. Like, but that's a lot different than like, come to my house, I love you so much, and let's get rich together, baby. Like I'll show you how. Right? That's a totally different thing.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I think that's an interesting like arc for you though, Destiny.
Yeah, the sex trafficking arc.
No. I mean, you don't want to do that, but you could always do like remember back when like you were in TwitchCon and stuff like that. You could do like IRL stuff, see if the girls can get followed by then. Like girls coming on your stream inherently get follows too, you know?
A little, yeah.
I mean, you could like, is it illegal for you to monetize that? Like almost put them as like an agent and like you get like a percentage, you know?
No, as long as you're on the up and up about everything. I mean, I'm obviously Melina does Fansly. I don't care if people do OnlyFans. Like I'm pro sex work. I don't give a fuck if you want to do it. That's fine.
I'm saying like for you and your arc, right? Let's say, okay, this is going to be a horrible hypothetical situation, but let's just give it. Let's go. Farha, right? She comes on your stream. She does stuff. She makes her own money, but could you technically write up a contract every time she came on your stream, even though she's just like your friend, and just like, hey, I get this percentage in this and that, whatever, like based on profit, you know?
Theoretically, like if I want to say like you can plug your OnlyFans a ton, but like I get a link of it basically, or
yeah, like a percentage, you know, like you could do that.
I could argue it's just charging for advertising at that point, sure.
Yeah, but that's not illegal.
No, that's not illegal
because that's using like a status thing versus like.
There's nothing wrong with using a status thing, right? There's nothing wrong with using status. Is when you lie about your intentions to get somebody to do something. That's the issue, right?
Yeah. All right. Cool. Thank you again for your conversation.
Okay.
Glad I got to ask you some interesting stuff that I didn't know myself.
I love you, buddy. Be careful.
All right. See you, man.
Bye.